KG6USS, KG6USS, Selwyn down there in Southern California, the high desert, WA6LOL, Whiskey Alpha 6 Lima Oscar Lima, Sonora calling. KG6USS, KG6USS, WA6LOL.
Hello, radio, K6USY, Delta Mike 06.
Hello, Aaron. Kilo, Juliet 6, Tango, Yankee, Oscar, Charlie Mike, 96.
Hold on, I'm hearing some CW in there. Give me a second in here, I'm going to reply. Well, that was relatively slow. I need to turn that up.
Good evening, Aaron. K6USY, KM6SRR.
Hey, Rob. Yeah, we got some CW in the background, and Ron's also in there as well. Go ahead, Ron.
Good evening, KJ6TYO1009, and we're out here.
How was the wedding?
Wow, it was wow. I couldn't believe my little daughter-in-law did all that on her own. Man, it was pretty snazzy.
How much food did you eat?
I finished my plate off, that's for sure. It was at the festival, the old festival cinema on Shaw Avenue, I believe, Shaw and Willow. Wow, what a pretty good looking place that was. Inside, anyway.
Oh, interesting. So how you feeling, Rob?
Feeling good. And then last night we had a wedding in Kingsburg at Riverview, kind of along the river. So, yeah, I'm feeling okay.
Hey, good evening, Ron. KJ6TYO, KM6SR. Yeah, Aaron, I'm feeling a little bit better, but still got stuff hanging on there. Over.
Very good. Yeah, Ken called me this afternoon to try and get me to cover the class on Tuesday because, yeah, apparently he's under the weather, and apparently Marcus was sharing.
Yeah, I have Marcus to thank for this too, I think. So I'm not sure exactly what it is. I had a negative COVID test, but there seems to be other thoughts on what's going on there. So I can't help Ken out either. He asked me to kind of fill in for him before it all started, and I said sure. Anyway, yeah, anybody knows a little bit about technician, just need somebody to help him out there on Tuesday night. Over.
Yep. Yeah. The good thing is he said it's just a PowerPoint, but I almost wanted to tell Ken, I'm like, you do realize I took the tech test like 20 years ago, and it's a completely different question pool. You know, when my wife was studying, there's a couple of questions. I'm like, oh yeah, that definitely wasn't on my test 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's not too bad. You got the book there to back you up, so everything should be good.
W6BBS.
Hi, Frank.
All right, how do I sound? Is this amp still messing up?
Yes. Let me put my other side of the headphone on and turn the volume up a little bit. Take another transmission.
W6BBS. Testing, just making a bunch of noise. Over.
Yep. Yeah, it's still tearing on the peaks a little bit. I mean, it's not unintelligible, but it's definitely adding some artifacts.
All right, I just did a little bit of change. Did that help any at all? Over.
It's either the same or slightly worse.
Wow, all I did was turn mic gain and compression down.
Yeah, it's definitely still there.
All right, there's the mic gain back up.
I think that's worse.
Hang on one second. Hey, guys, I got to go. I got a phone call from a customer. I'll be back. W6BBS.
Yeah, I don't hear anything real seriously wrong, Frank. K6MYC. We'll see you when you get back.
Yeah, it's very subtle, Mike. It's just on the ragged edges, but it's definitely a little bit of RF getting into the audio.
Yeah, well, it's happening on both. It's not amplifier. It's he's had this problem that we've suspected was an RF problem, and it's doing it on both amplifiers, and we're pretty sure both of them are linear. They sounded fine here. You guys didn't make any comment when I had one of them on here for a while. Anyway, good evening all. K6MYC Bozo Net, and I'm beaming down south, so we're kind of looking first for KB6RQU or N6SWR, either one.
Kilo Golf 6, Charlie Echo Fox, 982.
KJ6, ZKE, 704.
And of course, K6USY 1079 and Bozo 1100 in the background.
Roger, hang in there, guys. We gotta. Are you catching them, Judy? There you go.
Yeah. And what was the last one?
K6USY.
No, I don't want the call.
1079 and 1100.
Hello, Mike, WA6LOL, Sonora 856.
KM6SRR, number 432.
Rob must be pointed south because you didn't hear Dave, Rob.
We hear them. I hear everybody. W856, WA6LOL. We got you, Dave. Hang on.
And Ron is out there somewhere, and Frank was here. He had to take a phone call. K6USY.
Yeah, we got Frank.
Bozo 61, KB6RQU.
I got you. Old Bozo 61 in there. We're charging down the line here as fast as we can, guys. Hope we didn't lose any numbers in the process. Did you get 704?
No.
Okay, 704. Okay. Was in. Good evening, Terry. And let's see. KM6SRR 432. You got that one, 432, I'm sure. Judy's writing like a maniac here.
982.
Yeah, we got you, Daryl. We got you first out of the barrel here.
KJ6TYO 1009.
1009. We got you, Ron. KJ6TYO. Good. It is KJ6 or KG?
KJ Kilo Juliet 6 Tango Yankee Oscar.
Yeah, we got it. Okay, good. Good to hear everybody. We get it down to Rick first. We'll go backwards. What? What do you need? Oh.
Never mind.
We'll go backwards from down south and work our way back uphill here. Over to Bozo 61, KB6RQU, K6MYC. How are you doing?
Yeah, K6MYC, KB6RQU. I'm doing pretty well. Had a nice Sunday. And tomorrow, where are you going to start on the 6 meter? You going to start up north first or down this way?
On 6 meters, because what I do on 220 is I end up pointed toward Nevada, even though it's a different antenna. I hate to keep those guys waiting another hour before I get back to them, so I start 6 meters at about 8:15 pointed toward Nevada. So you typically are the last one in the line coming the other way. We can take you early if you can be heard, if you can get Rob to hear you, but I don't necessarily always hear you off the back of the beam, Rick, over.
Yeah, that's correct. I just don't have enough power to accomplish that. So I'll look for you about 8:30.
Well, 8:30 is, I won't be back around by 8:30. We start at 8:15 going north, and it usually is about 8:45 before we get to you.
Okay, I'll look for you 8:45 to 9 o'clock, and then after that, I'll assume you're done with the net.
Yeah, you're, as we get down that way, you're pretty much the last one on the list there. Again, if you can grab anybody else like KW6S or anybody else and get heard, you can give them your call and check in early if you have to get away. I don't like to keep you waiting, but I don't have any choice. It's either you or the other guys making them wait twice, over.
Yeah, I understood there. Sometimes I hear Ken when he's on, and sometimes he gets on early.
Yeah, and sometimes Rob sometimes can hear you better than I can off the back of the beam. And maybe you can get to Aaron also. Aaron, if you can grab Aaron, he's Omni, so you should be able to call Aaron, over.
Yeah, I've been listening. I've been calling. even to see if someone can hear me, even though they're real weak. Sometimes they don't hear me at all there. But anyway, that's the way things go. We'll just play it the way we've been going here and see if I can get checked in. No problem at all, Mike. Over.
Yeah. 6 SRR.
Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, Rick, I can make a point of pointing down there in the beginning if you want, about, I don't know, 8:15, something like that, over.
8:15, okay.
I'll try to remind Rob to do that, because I'm pointed, as I say, I'm pointed north just so I don't keep the boys waiting up there in Nevada after they finish with 222. And it's two different groups. I mean, not two different groups, but there's only one or two that get on 222, but sometimes I get all three of them on 6, over.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you don't want to mess that up there. Very well. I'll get checked in one way or another. No problem at all. KB6RQU.
Okay, well, let's just check something right now quickly. Aaron, can you hear Rick down there?
Yeah, he's coming in S5, S6 right now. KB6RQU. KB6RQU. This is Kilo 6 Uniform Sierra Yankee in West Fresno. Do you copy?
Apparently he doesn't hear you. You don't hear a K6USY calling you with 100 watts and an Omni?
I heard someone there, but I wasn't sure who it was. I was trying to move the antenna.
Well, you don't have to move. He's just a little south of me, maybe a little bit to the west that's Aaron. He's the one that runs the stream here, which you can't use, of course, but he's the one that operates the screen. So he's here from the start to the finish normally, over.
Okay. That must have been who I heard then.
Yeah, again, if you can just call him in a blank period, call Aaron, he can probably hear you. He's listening to the stream. He's multitaskable. He's very good at multitasking. He can listen to the stream. He can listen to himself on the stream, and he can probably also listen to the radio.
Hey, Mike, I think I doubled with you. I was going to listen for Rick, over.
I know you were. Go ahead. Rick responded to you, and he came back and said okay about the 8:15 thing, Rob, over.
Yeah, and then I wanted to ask him if he had a minute, had a question for him, over.
Go ahead.
Hey, Rick, on those things that I got from you, the automatic tuner and that little meter, was there a mini DIN, 4-pin mini DIN cable that goes with that? I didn't see that in there, over.
Oh, yeah, I did mention it to you when it was here, that it come up missing. You can find it in the book there. I think there's a part number. You might probably have to order it.
Okay, yeah, I see. It's discontinued, that meter, so it's kind of interesting. But I've been looking and trying to get prices on all that stuff there. So can you give me a landline sometime? I had some questions for you, over.
Who made the meter? Was it an MFJ?
It's an LDG tuner meter.
Okay, well, it should be available then. And Rick...
Cable is what I don't have, over.
I doubled with you. Say it again for Rick, Rob.
We have the meter, Mike. We still need the cable that connects the meter to the auto tuner, over.
I understand that, and he said you could probably look it up and order it.
Yeah, and you said something about I could still get the meter. Well, I don't need the meter.
I don't think I said meter, but maybe I did by accident. No, you can still get stuff from LDG. It's still in business, over.
Yep, that's true, but they discontinued that little meter, and I suppose they'll probably have the cables. Or they could tell me what the pinout is. It's easy enough to do there, over.
And it may not even be a special cable. If it's got DINs or something on both ends, it may be a standard cable.
It's a 4-pin mini DIN.
Yeah, what's on, is it come out of the, it's got to have a plug on both ends, right?
Yeah, I think it has the same mini DIN 4-pin plug on both ends, so it might just be straight through, over.
Yeah, that would I'm sure it is.
Contact?
Go ahead, Rick.
Yeah, okay, that does. Sounds good there. I'll forgot it was the person you wanted me to talk to. I forgot his name here. I was looking for his call. Evidently, I haven't talked with him at all yet.
That's Aaron. Aaron, K6 Uniform Sugar Yankee. K6 USY. He's running 100 watts in a whole loop on 6 meters here. Isn't it a whole loop here, Aaron, right?
Yep, here on 2 meters, 100 watts on a whole loop.
Okay, well, why don't you give him a 3x3 call, 3 calls of his call sign, 3 calls of your call sign. That'll give him a chance to wiggle the antenna, and maybe he can find a peak on you. Rick has got a pretty narrow, I think it's a 16 LBX or a 18 XXX or something down there. So he may have to wiggle. So give him a long call. Rick, he's going to call you a long time. Over.
That'll be fine. Tell him to go ahead.
Alrighty, here we go. KB6RQU, KB6RQU, down there in DMO5. KB6RQU, this is Kilo 6, Uniform Sierra Yankee. Kilo 6, Uniform Sierra Yankee, up here in Delta Mike 06, Kilo 6, Uniform Sierra Yankee. Over.
Looking for check-ins for the Sunday night Bozo Net. Anybody want to check in? KG6 USS, Bozo 831, High Desert.
Bozo 47, K6 MYC.
WA6LOL 856.
You checking in with me or with the guy in LA?
With LA there.
I'm alternate night control for the Southern California side here, so I'll check in with you and you can check in with me there. Copy?
Try again, Dave.
Yeah, hi John down there. You copy WA6LOL 856.
Yeah, 856. How you doing up there in the Badlands of Southern California?
Doing good, yeah. Just getting ready for the winter. Starting to get cool in the evenings and stuff. How are you?
Yeah, it's a nice day in the high desert. We're doing the same thing.
I'm not going to be able to hear air there as long as the Bozo Net is coming in down south. He's wiping everything out.
Okay, John, well, I'll let the net...
Yeah, Rick, that's what I was thinking there. This KM6SR. Can you give me a landline sometime, Rick? Over?
Yes, I will. Let's see. I'll give it to you tomorrow, all right?
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, any other check-ins over there on the coast there or in the valley? This is KG6 USS Bozo 831 up here in the high desert.
You did get me right. You got covered up by locals, John, K6 MYC 47.
Yeah, Mike, I did get you logged in. Like I said, I logged you in on our side. You can log me in on your side there. Copy?
Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure you had me in there because you got covered up by a bunch of local chatter here. The boys up here are quite a bit strong, and you took a little fade right about that time. Anyway, you got a good one all the way from Sonora. LGLOL is in Sonora, so that's quite a path. Right? Anybody else for KG6 USS in the high desert in the Southern California area? Over.
Hey, John, KG6 USS. This is Kilo Mike 6, Sierra Romeo Romeo. Delta Mike 07, number 432. Over.
Okay, 432. How you doing this evening? Got you in here loud and clear. Boy, good signals tonight.
Yep, you're always loud and clear from down there, so thanks for checking me in. We got you checked in up here, too. Over.
Roger. I do appreciate it. And I forget, what was your QTA, sir?
You got a little bit scrambly on the voice there. You asked my Bozo number. It's 432. Over.
Copy the 432. What was your QTH? What's your location again?
Did you copy that, Mike? I couldn't hear him.
Didn't get it. We got skunks in the back here. I was just watching the skunks. He's walking all over the...
He wants your location.
Oh, well, that happens. Now, Bozo 831 here in High Desert looking for check-ins for the Sunday night Southern California Bozo Net. Anybody want to check in? Now's a good time to do it. Yeah, KB6RQU. Rick, I did get you earlier down here in Southern California. Thanks for checking in. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing fine, man.
Okay, we're getting the skunk show tonight here.
Yeah, I got to get up your way and go fishing there before it gets too cold.
Does the skunk have a Bozo number?
Yeah, it's 10001.
Okay, very good, Dan. I think we make it. Get that fishing there now.
Okay.
Pretty good for you.
Okay, let's see if Ben is in here. We haven't had a chance to listen for Ben yet. It's been a little hectic here, Ben.
Romeo Quebec uniform, KG6USS.
Hey, John, KG6USS, KM6SR. I'm in Delta Mike 07, halfway between Corscold and Fresno, over.
Wow, got you good. What's your Bozo number?
432.
Oh, yeah, no, I got you in there, Rick. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. You got your lady there. Roger, letter?
Yeah, I wasn't copying your request for my location, over.
Gotcha now. In Corscold, boy, yeah, that's a good copy for sure.
Okay, Ben, N6SWR, you on tonight?
Yeah, any other check-ins for Southern California Bozo Net from the high desert here, Southern California? KG6USS, Bozo 831, looking for other check-ins.
N6SWR, Ben, you on tonight for the 2-meter Bozo Net for Northern California, over? I'm not hearing it, Mike. If you're done with your skunks, go ahead.
Okay.
That way.
Let's work our way up the valley here, just for fun. KC5DTU, Kerry, are you here? Okay, no Kerry. Let's go up a little further. KK6ZKE. Good evening, Terry. Okay, Terry's in and out. Let's go up a little further. We got, how about you, Daryl? You've been waiting a long time. KG6, got a mental blank on your call. Go ahead, Daryl.
Charlie Echo Fox.
Hey, you might have stepped away from the radio already.
Yeah, John from the high desert stepped on everybody, so I guess they left.
Yeah, I could hear John sporadically, but I highly doubt he'd be able to hear me.
Well, he's only running 100 watts, so you are comparable with him on the power.
Yeah, he's back down now, but at times he was coming in here at S1, S2, so quite a signal coming up the valley.
Yeah, he's louder than quite a few of the guys in the valley here for me. Let's see, Ron, if you're still there, let's shoot it over to you and see how the old chicken hauler's doing tonight. KJ6TYO, K6MYC.
Well, we're doing good. We survived 2 weddings this weekend, so we're doing good. So back to work Tuesday.
Okay, 2 weddings, wow. And you're still standing upright, not sloped, aren't you?
Yep, I'm doing good, and got another wedding next week. So, yeah. Nephew next week. Friday was my son's. Saturday, a good friend of mine's daughter, and next weekend, my nephew. So, it is the month of the weddings.
Okay, very good. Hey, Rob, I'm going to have you take it a minute. The skunks have eaten all the food in the bowls out there. I'm going to go refresh the bowls. I didn't put enough food out for them. Oh, you want to do it? Judy's going to do it. Okay.
3-1 is the last one I have.
Oh, yeah, I think that was the last check-in that I got to.
Put one more on that list. Put 72 on there whether you like it or not.
We got 72. Hell, you were the first one in here.
Double.
We got 72, Frank. We got you. You were the first one in here.
Oh, I did not know that you heard me. Okay, very good. Well, I'm number one. How about that? That doesn't happen very often.
Well, it doesn't happen often because I lied. You're number 2.
That's what I usually get. That's the typical. I'm the number 2.
I don't know what Judy wrote down. She heard you. She knew who it was, and she wrote you down. By the way, I was sitting here watching, I don't know, Levin or something, the program right after Levin, about 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock. And all of a sudden, I got a tickle in my nose. I started to stand up, and I sneezed 3 times before I could straighten up. I got a terrible allergy attack in that left nose, like you said you had the other day, where it just tickled and you gushed over.
Yep, I know that. Well, they used to make fun of us down at the shop, Mike, because both of us had that tendency. I think you did 3 and I did 4. And when they started, I'd have 4 big ones, and then it was just gone, sneezes.
Yeah. Well, I went in and took 2. I took 1 Claritin tab and I waited about 10 minutes, and it slowed up a little bit, but not enough to talk about, so I took another one. And I'm still sneezing. I just had to stop a minute ago and sneeze 3 times. But the continuous tickle, at least, is gone now. It's just coming in waves. Over.
Yeah, roger that. Has Ken WA60IB checked in?
No, he is not.
Okay, very good. Well, I'll let you carry on with the net. I'll be sitting here standing by listening and maybe putting some of this keyer back together since I took it so far apart.
Now, just quickly off, have you heard from Jen, and how's her brother doing?
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to tell you that. I actually don't have a report on the brother. I was thinking, honest to God, about a half hour ago, I was thinking I should call her because Mike's going to ask me how the brother's doing. But I heard from her at about, I don't know, 4:30, 5 o'clock, maybe 5:30. And she was just arrived at her brother's. She was still getting out of her car. They didn't even know she was there yet, but she was there at her brother's. And so she made the trip safe. She had also, I may have told you this earlier, she had called me earlier on the road when she stopped to get a bite to eat and stretch her legs. I told her to do that. Whether you're tired or not, at least one time stop and take a half an hour. Get out of the car and walk around. So other than her back hurts, she had a good trip, and she got there safe, and she'll let me know when there's something to know about her brother. Over.
We got bad boys here now with his kids. Yeah, they're tipping the dish over, dumping the dish out so they can spread out the food a little bit. Oh, he took it away from the kids? Oh, boy, we're getting the show tonight. Okay, very good. Frank, I'm just going to pass it on so people know what's going on. Jen's got 2 brothers and a sister, or vice versa, down in Arizona. And one brother, aged of about 42 years old, had a heart attack at work. Actually died, but luckily the paramedics were there quickly and paddled him back to life with a shock, got him into the hospital, and he underwent heart surgery yesterday. So that's what the panic was at the Reynolds household there. Jen wanted to go down and see her brother, and the outside chance that he didn't make it or if he was in bad shape. But I think he's going to be okay. But he actually died at the office for a few minutes, and they paddled him and got him back to life. So kind of a tenuous situation there for a while. So that's what's going on with Frank, along with a few other 1,000 things. All right, let's see. I forgot where I was here, but let me see. Is there anybody else in the Fresno area that we've overlooked or forgotten that wants to say hi or check in? This is Kilowatt 6 Mike Yankee Charlie.
We're signaling up your area. If you want to check in, Bozo 831 to Sunday night Bozo Net. Looking for check-in.
I'm not sure if that was for us or not. If you're checking into the Northern California net, start out with my call sign so I know you're calling toward me. This is Kilowatt 6 Mike Yankee Charlie. K6MYC, if you're checking into the Northern California Bozo Net, over. Okay, then no answer, so that was okay. Okay, I guess we got everybody. I may have overlooked a few. We're missing. I think we might keep an ear out for Dane. I believe he's at Shaver Lake, but he should be operational even though he's on a hole loop or a stacked pair of hole loops up there. But we should hear Shaver Lake pretty easily. How about it, Dane? WB6JNP, are you there? Nothing from Dane yet. Okay. N6BYH, WA6OIB, K6MTS. Anybody?
FYI, it wasn't Shaver. It was somewhere where the big trees are, sequoias or something that he was talking about. But it was, so it wouldn't be so far east. I think it's more the south, down closer to the direction for Bakersfield or something, I believe.
Well, somebody ought to hear him down there if he's there. Pointed that way, I should hear him. Okay, I thought he said Shaver, but maybe I was wrong. Very good. I'm not getting another check-in, so I think I'm going to turn the antenna over toward Ron and look for W6QUI. Let me try one more time. Ben, N6SWR. I don't know if you, I thought I heard you come back, but you had the antenna toward the Southern California guys. Let's see if you're there, Ben. N6SWR, Bakersfield, from California, K6MYC, Northern California, Bozo Net, over. I can still hear Bozo 231 in there. He's so loud. Okay, I don't hear anybody, so I'm going to go to Atascadero, guys. Here we go.
Talk a little bit. This is Bozo 831, KG6USS, making it pick up the long time there, Charlie.
Going over toward W6QUI. Hopefully you're there tonight, Ron. W6QUI, Atascadero, K6MYC in the Northern California Bozo Net, over.
Good evening, Mike. IB here, K6MYC, W6QUI, Bozo 1055.
QSL 1055, good signal from you tonight, Ron. Very nice signal. Good to hear you. We missed you last couple of times off and on. I guess you had a busy week last week. Anyway, good to hear you. And I wonder if you've heard any word on Eric down there. And we'll pass you around a little bit and let's just say hello to the others in the area here. I haven't heard WA6AAJ or AA6S tonight here either. OIB is missing also. So some of the regulars are not here tonight to say hello. Rob is here. And so is Ken, so is Frank, W6BBS. So they may pick it up in a minute. Anyway, tell us about Eric if he's there, and then you can stand by and see who else will call you, over.
I haven't talked to Eric for a couple of days, so I don't know what he's up to. And Bill, of course, is off and on. He usually pops in to let me know he's there, so I suspect he's not there either. So anyway, that's the story over here. Good evening to whoever can hear me over there.
Well, W6QUI, K6USY.
Good signal, Aaron. Good evening to you. Booming in as usual.
Yeah, good evening, Ron. You're S9 here into Delta Mike 06 and sounding good out here in the Central Valley, K6USY.
Oh, very good. Yeah, you're about the same here, too. So, yeah, the band's been in good shape here lately, I think.
Good evening, Ron. W6QUI, KM6SR. You're sounding good.
Bob, good evening. Yeah, you got a little multi-pass, but probably you got your antenna somewhere else, maybe. Anyway, good evening to you.
Well, I moved it a little more west because you sounded louder, but maybe it made it worse.
Well, I hear you anyway. It doesn't matter.
W6QUI, W6BBS. I guess I'll give you your sorry signal report. It's only a 10 over S9 tonight. Hi.
Oh, gee, I better turn the battery. turn the wick up on the lamp here. Good evening to you there, Frank. I have a quick question. Are all your beacons on beams, or are some of them on omnis?
No, the 2-meter beam, or 2-meter beam, the 2-meter 432 beacons are on egg beaters with no ground planes, so they're omnis, and only the 1296 is on the beam. And currently, the beacons have been down for the last few days. I had the keyer crash. I fried a MOSFET in it, and I am just awaiting parts right now and to get it back online. Over.
Okay, you answered my question because I haven't heard it for a while. Okay, very good. Well, I hope you can get it back on and it doesn't blow any more MOSFETs out.
Yeah, you're a technical guy, aren't you?
Yes.
Well, let me ask you a question. This has got the oh my God, I'm pulling a blank now. What is it's got in it, Mike?
A 2N2007 or something. It's a MOSFET, Ron, and it's only good for about 200 mils, and that's probably the problem. He probably taxed it with keying too many things at once. He's looking for a bigger one, but 2N2007, I think it's a MOSFET. Over.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of high current ones out there. International Rectifier makes a ton of high current ones, so you might look into those. Is it an N channel or P channel?
It's probably an N, but it's also surface mount.
Oh, this is in a piece of commercial equipment then, right?
Yeah, it's a piece of MFJ. It's the MFJ keyer, and of course MFJ's out of business.
Yeah, you might want to buffer that with a bigger one, maybe, externally. Then you won't. Are you keying relays, or are you keying transmitters direct?
Okay. All right, I finally got it back. Yeah, it's the 2N7002, and the ones I find online, they're either 130 mils or 200 mils, and I'm not sure which one's on this board. I haven't figured that out yet. But anyways, yeah, it's designed basically to key a radio CW and be a CW memory key or whatever. I'm using it in beacon mode, which it has built in. But I was actually keying two 2-meter radios, a 432 radio, and a 1296 transverter. So it's keying 4 things with it. And that's exactly the question that I've got is, does somebody know off the hand of a bigger one that I can throw in this thing, or should I just build me a separate board and put a row of these on it, one for each radio? Over.
Now, what are you keying on the radios? Relays, or are you keying some direct, active element?
No, there's relays keying. They're solid state, and it's CW. It's just sending CW. So this comes straight out of the CW port of this CW keyer into the key jack on the radio. Over.
Yeah. Well, what I would suggest is, if you get the replacement, is to build up an external high current. Something capable of high current, and then key that with your current keyer. Take that big high current load off of it, because International Rectifier makes a ton of really cheap, very high current MOSFETs, which will key. They key amps. They'll key 50 amps and stuff like that. They're like a TO220 package. They're pretty amazing.
Yeah, okay, see, now that's my lack of experience in the ways I was thinking about doing it. I like your idea. Just leave this thing the way it is, repair it, leave it the way it is, and take a key line out and key a whole new device with separate key lines. Okay, beautiful. Thank you. I appreciate it, Ron. Have a good evening. W6QUI, W6BBS.
Yeah. When you get a problem like that, it's best to buffer the signal with something that's more powerful, and then you don't have issues with the main equipment. Okay. Well, I hope you can get that going again.
Well, one final question. If I was to do that, let's say I was to build an external board that had 6 or 8 ports on it, each of them, of course, diode isolated, and each of them had their own MOSFET to key them, and then I was just keying that entire circuit with this. My question is this, since I'm just keying CW straight through, is there going to be any delay? Is it going to cause any issues?
No, because, these sets are extremely fast, so it'll work just the way it is now.
All right, beautiful. Thanks so much, Ron. I appreciate it. W6BBS, I'm done.
Okay, very good. Good luck on that, Frank. W6QUI.
Wake up, Mr. Stahl. We're done talking. Okay, well, I'm pointed just about around that way. Is there anybody else down there in the Atascadero?
Not tonight. Eric getting his antennas back up, and Bill's very sporadic. When he's on, he breaks in to let me know he's around, so apparently I'm the Lone Ranger again.
Okay, well, we appreciate you being there, Ron, and it's nice to have such a big signal coming out of your part of the world. So have a good evening, sir.
Okay, thank you, Frank. Good evening. Back to you there, Mike.
I'm tied up just a minute for a phone. Give me 30 seconds more, guys. K6MYC.
Let's see. Oh, God. Tom, what? WS6X? Or I'm pulling a blank now. Are you there, Tom?
Are you up to Santa Cruz?
Yeah, I just turned up there since you seem to be busy. I figured just playing with skunks, and Ron and I pretty much wore out our conversation, so I just figured I'd move on, see who else was there.
Yeah, very good. Spin up that way now. 73, Ron, if you're still copying. I'm sorry about the phone call here. It tied me up.
Okay, no, I don't know. Frank and I were discussing this issue there. 73, and I'll see you. Try to make it Tuesday. I should be here.
Okay, we'll look for you Tuesday. We'll look for you Tuesday on 1296. 73, Ron.
73.
Okay, now I think I'm up. What's it reading here, Judy?
285.
Okay, I'm a little high for Tom, but let's see. Tom, are you copying KW6S? This is K6MYC. Okay, KW6 Sugar, KW6S, K6MYC. Okay, nothing heard. How about Lee? Alpha Fox 6 United, are you in there tonight, Lee? Over.
Roger, Roger. K6MYC, AF6 United, 1098. I'm here.
Okay, you certainly are. A good, strong signal, too. I don't know, maybe, I'm trying to think back now if Tom said that he was going to be missing part of this week for something. And he did drive all the way to the Bay Area this last weekend for Pacificon, and he was way up near Oakland or something, or Livermore, wherever they had the Pacificon this year. And he may just not have gotten home in time, or he may not have taken, maybe wanted to take an extra day or so up there, I don't know. Anyway, no sweat. It's good to hear you. And we assumed you did not survive the windstorm without taking the 432 antenna down, because we did not hear you. I don't think we heard you on 432 on Thursday. Or maybe we did. No, I guess we did hear you, but you were weak. We did hear you, come to think of it. You finally did get in there. So we got you 432, but it was down a bit because you were lower. Alpha Fox 6 United, K6MYC.
Yeah, from what I understand, Tom did go to Pacificon, and I think he had a stop on the way home. He thought he might be here for the net, but he wasn't sure because of the stop and how long the stop along the way, I think, was in Livermore or something like that, was going to take him. So, I think he might still be trying to get settled in coming back from that. Anyway, I was on 432. We did make contact. It was a different path, I think it was, than normal. So maybe I was bouncing off of a rock somewhere between here and there, and
at least I got through. But hopefully I'll get the antenna back up by next Thursday, and everything will get back to normal. Although coming into the rainy season here, it's probably going to go up and down until I can finally figure out how to get this tower in place. Anyway, I'll say 7-3 to you in the group, and K6MYC from AF6 United, back to net.
Okay, well, there's a lot of us have put a lot of towers, and I've got 9 towers here. And Frank's done a lot of tower work, and so has a lot of other people on here. So if there's something we can answer for you or put your mind to rest related to, just ask the question. And we'd like to see you get the tower up as quick as you can, obviously, so you can get rid of this up and down business. But you're doing good. When it's up, it's working really well. So you've got everything else working quite well, Lee. So don't hesitate to ask if you have any questions related to the tower. If you can tell us what the tower is, brand and model number, that's always helpful. Or just to describe it in terms of sections and whether it's self-supporting or guide or whatever. Now, we know you have a lot of problems there because you don't have any area to guide things to. So hopefully it's a little self-supporter, and we'll go from there. Back to you for your final, and then we'll move on to the Bay Area. AF6 United, K6MYC.
Well, I appreciate the offer there, Mike. Yeah, and I know that there are a lot of you guys out there that have a lot more experience with towers than me, as I've never put one in myself. So that's why I guess I'm dragging my feet and taking so long to get the thing up. But yeah, I'll come up with kind of a description maybe next Sunday if things are kind of a little bit slow. I'll ask some questions or something like that, and see if I can make some progress in that regard. But anyway, thanks for the offer, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you folks on tomorrow night on 6 meters, and again on 2 meters on Wednesday night, and 4:32. Hopefully, I'll be back up to the top on Thursday. So 7-3, everybody. K6MYC, AF6 United.
Very good. Well, it sounds like we'll have a lot of chance, but you might be thinking about it. Do you know what the brand of the tower is, or how many sections there are, and how high it's supposed to be?
Well, no, I don't know the brand of the tower. It's an aluminum tower. It appears to be, I think it's riveted cross sections. All of the cross support sections on it seem to be riveted or bolted in place. It's 7-foot sections, and it's a tilt-over tower, but it's not a crank-up tower. So I'm looking at putting it up at either 21 or 28 feet, because after everything juts out of the thrust bearing that I have a plate for and a thrust bearing for at the top, I can probably get 5 to 8 feet of mast up there, and I plan to put the 6-meter Moxon, the 2-meter Yagi, and the 432 Quaggy on it, stacked up, one above the other, and that's kind of the basis of my plan. I'm just trying to figure out how to anchor the thing and get it attached. I'm probably going to attach it to the side of the house somehow, and I do not have room for guy wires, and that's the big problem there. Is especially if I go up 28 feet, I don't have any space to put out guy wires 20 feet from the tower.
Well, you don't have to be anywhere near 28 feet. A typical nominal angle is a 30-degree angle at the top, which means half of 28, 17 feet out, 16, 15, 14 feet out is all you need to be. So if you've got a rough bracket or an anchor, you may not need a terribly rugged anchor, and it may not have to go to a ground anchor. It may go to a rafter or something. All you're trying to do is stabilize it a little bit. You're not going to have up a huge array there at 28 feet, even with the mast and all. So you just need to stabilize it and keep it from starting to move. But you may be thinking overkill, but you don't need to do that. So a nominal angle from the top of the tower to the base and out is a 30-degree angle. So it's half of the hypotenuse, which is about 14 or 15 feet. And you can cheat that a little bit, over.
Okay, well, yeah, I'll have to think about all of that. Basically, the antennas that I have right now, especially the Craggy, is, when it's up fully extended, it's on probably 26 foot of mast that is just a Roan, well, I think it was a Roan 40 or something like that, that was a push-up mast. But I don't use the bottom section because it doesn't fit in the 5-foot tripod that I have. But it's just, stuck in a tripod, and the tripod is held down by cinder blocks, and, that's been stable up to 20. And we had 30-mile-an-hour winds here last Thursday, Friday, which I didn't feel comfortable with, which is why I took the antenna down. So, but it was stable, even right now I think it's at like 15 feet. So, I'm sure that putting it on a tripod is going to be a heck of a stronger structure supporting it, and excuse me, especially if it's into a concrete pad in the, like a 3-foot by 3-foot by 3-foot, pad in the ground. So, I know I overthink everything, but it is what it is, and it's my first one. So, I'm trying to use an overabundance of caution. K6MYC, AF6 United, back to you.
Okay, well. All comments noted. Yeah, you can be, you can relax a little bit on your overkill mentality on that one. 25 or 30 mile an hour winds, even 45 mile an hour winds are, most of that stuff's rated for 70 at the very least. Nobody builds a tower that can't handle 70, particularly if it's guide. So you're probably not going to see 70 there, but if you did, you could start to worry about it, but it's not likely. Anyway, okay, well, let's let you go for now. Think some more about it. Frank may have some input. Some other guys may have some input for you, but you have a base. Can you put a cement base down so it's bolted to the ground, over?
Yeah, that's the plan. 3-foot by 3-foot by 3-foot concrete base sunk in the ground right next to the house, so that I can use the house bracket about 8 feet up or something like that, and go from there. Cross my fingers.
Yeah, well, if you're never going to have a tower there that is self-supporting, you don't even need anything more than a 4-inch thick concrete base. I put towers like that up and just put them on a piece of plywood that was 4 by 4, and then I just drilled holes in the corner of the plywood and staked the plywood to the ground so it couldn't rotate, and it was fine, over.
Well, I tell you, my imagination has been running wild, and I've thought about bolting the base down to something that I could actually screw into the ground with some fairly good, heavy-duty screw anchors, and yeah, I've been playing around with all kinds of different ideas, but I guess I'm tying up the net a little too long here, and so I'll say 7-3 for tonight and pass it back to you, Mike. K6MYC from AF6 United, back to net.
Yeah, Roger. Well, bear in mind now, your base isn't a big deal. You don't have to be in the ground. I mean, you could put it on a little tiny concrete pad, but you certainly don't have to dig a hole. If you want to dig a little 1-foot deep hole, throw 3 or 4 sacks of concrete in there and do that. That'd be fine. But all you're trying to do is keep the base from moving. weight and tilting, it's not going to hold anything up, even in a 3-foot base. The tower will fold over with a 3-foot base. The tower will break first. So you'll go overkill there and waste your money on a lot of cement. You don't need it. If you're going to go bigger with a bigger tower later, then you put a big base in, and then you can bolt bigger towers to it by drilling holes in the concrete and epoxying and some bolt anchors and stuff like that. But I don't know what your plans are for a bigger tower. But, you know, all my towers are self-supporting. They are setting on 8-foot deep, 4-foot diameter holes. And then I build a 6x6 or 8-foot pad up on top that's about 4 to 6 inches thick, just for you, so you have a work platform for yourself around the base of the tower, so you can lay tools down, and it's above the ground a little bit, so it doesn't, water runs off, etc., etc. But that's a self-supporting tower that goes to 100 feet. Over.
Yeah. Okay. Well, lots of good ideas to think about, but yeah, I appreciate the thoughts, and I think I've taken up a little bit too much time here tonight, so I'm going to turn it back to you, Mike, K6MYC from AF6 United.
Yeah, well, you've taken up some time, but a lot of people, other people get ideas from this and get questions answered and things, so it's not totally wasted. Lee, you're not the only one that has tower issues and not the only one that needs a tower. A lot of people on here have no towers, and they're thinking about it in every stage in between. So I'm just telling you, we've got a lot of experience here, and I'm just trying to keep you from doing something that's a waste of time. It's not needed for what you're doing. It depends on how much bigger you want to go on the long term. So there's two schools of thought. If you're just putting up something temporarily, I mean, a little piece of concrete in the ground you can dig out later if you want to put the tower somewhere else. So, and that's all you need. You can do it with a couple of sacks, 2 or 3 sacks of concrete. Frank's done that all over his property already. 7-3 for now, and we'll talk to you tomorrow night on 6 meters. AF6 United, K6MYC. 7-3,
good night.
And Tom, are you in the shack yet? KW6S? Not home yet. Okay, let's get it up into the Bay Area. Boy, I got terrible noise tonight. I don't know why. It wasn't warm today. I thought this would go away.
And 5NPD 1129.
And 5NPD 1129, K6MYC. Good evening, Brett. Good signal.
Good evening. I have no noise here, fortunately, but yeah, I enjoy listening to about the towers. I'd love to have a tower here. I wouldn't mind digging the hole out. It doesn't bother me that much, but yeah, maybe someday, especially if they decide to build houses behind the house here. Currently behind the house, there's nothing but ag land, so, you know, when they come in and they build these subdivisions, they put 2 stories in over.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, well, when you get closer to thinking about it, but again, from the biggest tower, they require a 4-foot or 5-foot square hole, 8 feet deep, if you were going to do it in pure sand. So what you have to remember, the tower specs, when you get them from the tower manufacturer, they assume the worst case. And the worst case base would be that you're putting it in beach sand, which has no stability whatsoever. And the requirement there is 5-foot square, typically, and 8 feet deep, and rebar inside and all that. I don't even put rebar in mine. The bolts coming out of the base of the tower that go into the concrete are 3 or 4 feet long, and there's 3 of them, in some cases 6. And that gives you, when that all breaks, your tower's coming down, and everything on the top of it has been blown away a long time ago. Over.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, I was thinking about maybe a 40-foot tower there, and the dirt here in Newman is clay, pure clay, horrible to dig in the summer. You're not really going to dig it in the summer. You have to wait till spring. So, yeah, I would imagine it could go a little bit skimpier on the concrete as opposed to beach sand over.
Yeah, The depth is more important than the size. Even a 3-foot hole, 3-foot diameter hole, or 3-foot square would be adequate for most things. Telephone poles, you require, a 50-foot pole gets put in the ground 5 feet or 10% of its length. It doesn't fall over. So a lot of people don't have any idea about that. All right. Let you go, Brett, but thanks for checking in. Good to hear you. Good, strong signal, as always. N5NPD for your final K6MYC.
All right, Mike and Judy, we'll catch you next time around. K6MYC, N5NPD 73 to you both, and we'll catch you next time.
7-3. Okay, Bay Area, Bozo Net, K6MYC.
WB6W9, 1090.
Yeah, 1090. Good evening, Gary. Good signal. We had a little more trouble with you the other night on 432, but we got you. We got that conversation all taken care of. But I did have to listen to you in Bluetooth to get 100% copy, but you're good copy here. Good evening, and hopefully you guys had a little less wind this weekend and some nice weather in the Bay Area. WB6 WNI Camel San Jose border, K6MYC.
K6MYC, WB6W9 1090. Much less wind, and it got up to about 80 degrees. It's not too bad for October. However, Mike, you did want me to report on something, and I will report. Every day I could hear Frank 432 beacon every single day, showing 432 every day. I never, repeat, never heard the 2-meter beacon. Back to you.
Well, the 2-meter beacon and all the beacons have been off the last 3 or 4 days. Frank blew up one of the transistors in the keying circuit. This is a keyer that that sends the CW. And it's an MFJ product, and apparently he was keying 4 different things, and there were diodes steered through the keyer, so that each one was isolated from the other one, but they all went through the one key transistor, and the transistor, a little tiny LD MOSFET, was a little bit underrated. Or there was too much power going through it for what it could handle current-wise. And it finally let go. I think that's what really caused it to fail. Although Frank may have helped it along because he was touching the wires at the same time when it finally ended up blowing. Anyway, it was marginal, so he's going to have to replace that, and that's what's keeping it off the air right now. He's waiting for the weekend to get done so he can order parts. The product is made by MFJ, and MFJ isn't in business anymore, but he's got the part number. It's a 2N7002 LD MOSFET or something, or a MOSFET anyway. And but there's probably 100 different transistors and LD MOSes that could go into that circuit and do as good a job or better. So it's just a matter of picking it. There you go. That's what's keeping the beacons off the air. All of them are off right currently. Over.
Oh, God. Well, when I heard the 432, it must have been just before it went off, because I definitely heard it keying, and that was on Thursday. I heard it on Friday. It was nice and loud, but then again, I just got no. Also, one more question, and you don't have to answer it here because maybe other people want to get on, but a friend of mine who was my best man and worked at Lincoln Labs had a question for you, Mike, and the question is simply this. Do you remember making for Lincoln Labs a 2.5 to 2.7 gigahertz antenna that had a waveguide feed? Rick wants to know if you remember that, because he was the one that ordered it from you. K6MYC, WB6W9.
Yeah, Roger, sure, we remember that. Absolutely. It was a little Yagi. Stamped out Yagi we just fed it with a waveguide because it's much easier to feed if you use a piece of waveguide, and it's not a physical size problem because the waveguide's fairly small, as you know, at that frequency. So, yeah, we made quite a few different antennas like that. We still make antennas that are waveguide fed, either square or round waveguide cans on the back end. Over.
Oh, wow. He's going to be impressed you remembered it. Oh, and you know what? He said it was in 1994, so, you know, you can add it up, Mike. Only 30 years later, he wants me to pass on to you that the antenna worked perfectly. Back to you.
Well, who else? Why wouldn't it? We built it. We wouldn't put it out if it didn't work well and have a good match and all that. But the Yaggie's easy. The Yaggie was designed in YO, I think, and then we adapted to the waveguide feed. And we checked it out thoroughly on the range before it went to him. And we probably built 2 or 3 of those for other people or something similar. We did quite a few waveguide feeds, but all the way up to 3.5 gigahertz, but I don't think much higher than that. Our Yaggies get pretty tiny up there. Over.
Oh, very good, Mike. Well, you know what? I'm glad you were cranking them out. Anyway, I'm going to say 73 so you can move along to the other fellows out here. K6MYC and the group, WB67973.
Okay, and say hi to your friend if you talk to him again, and tell him thanks very much for the feedback, even though it's a few years after the fact. Hi. It's always good to hear it. Thank you very much. You made my day, Gary. WB6WNI, K6MYC, Bozo Net, Bay Area, please. Bay Area guys, please check in now.
W6PQL.
Oh, okay. I'm just about to give up on you guys. You don't have to be too polite there, Jim. You can always jump in. W6PQL. Give Judy your number. She probably remembers it, may have it written down already, but do it anyway.
Okay, we've got a little bit of fading tonight, but it's not so bad that I can't hear you. Tons of noise, too, on my end, and it's all local here. It's, I don't think anybody else is experiencing it at S6 level like I am. Maybe you are, but in this direction it seems to be the noisiest for some reason. It used to be the south, now it's in your direction. That's too bad. Some light out there, some street light I think is coming on and doing this. But anyway, for Judy it's 1296, and something I'll remember it as soon as you move on, but I'll break in if it's really important. It probably wasn't. K6MYC, W6PQL.
Yeah, well, let's see. There was something that I was going to talk to you about, maybe a picture. We were going to have somebody send you a picture of something. Oh, I know what it was, but it's already taken care of. I think we were going to send you a copy or a little blurb on a ICOM 990. Not an ICOM 990, a TS990S or a TS990 that one of the fellows has down here. Rick and Lake Isabella had one, and he wanted to sell it. And but it's already sold. It went off very quickly. He agreed on a price to a fellow in Fresno here, and it's done. So we don't have to do the website with that. There was something else, though, that we were going to put on the website that would be interesting to a lot of people. I don't know how many of us got pictures of the comet, but there's been some dandy pictures that I've seen of the comet that's out to the west, the one that's only going to come around once every 18,000 years. So we better get it now or not, or hold our breath. Over.
Contact.
Oh, okay. Well, there's always seems like every few years there's another comet that comes out of that Oort cloud. That has been thousands of years since it passed by, so I'm sure we'll get another one. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I've got a number of radios here that I don't use anymore. I've got an FT991, the original one, an FT991A. I've got those two. I've got a IC910H that only works on 1296, the 2 and what other bands did it have? 2 and 432 don't work, but 1296 module in it does, so it's a good single band radio. But I'll probably list those on the swap page that we're going to invent. That's about it. Oh, Elecraft KX3 with a 2-meter transverter in it. This thing only puts out 2 watts, but it's handy for tuning amplifiers, and that's all I've been using it for. K6MYC, W6PQL, back to listening.
Okay, don't run away. Frank has a comment. Go ahead, Frank.
Yeah, I just had a quick question for you, Jim, if you knew off the top of your head. I blew the MOSFET in my CW keyer for the beacon, and it's a 2N7002, and I was wondering if you knew off the top of your head of a, something that's better than the 200 milliamps on the good one on these, that I could drop in as a replacement that would take the same voltage on the gate. Over.
What was the part number of the original?
2N7002. Over.
2N7002. Okay. I'll take a look, Frank. I'm sure I can find something for you.
Yeah, that'd be good. This is a CW keyer from MFJ, this 464, and I was keying 430. Of course, when I blew it up, I was doing some changes, and I might have shorted something out and did it myself, but I'm just looking for a drop-in replacement if I could find it. Otherwise, I'll build me an external board and just key the board with this and let it key different radios. Over.
Okay, I'll see what I can find.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mike. W6BBS. Back to net.
Yeah, Frank found them online. That particular device, they wanted $6 for 24 of them, Jim. So it's a real high-priced part.
Yeah. Well, I'm about to place an order with Mauser just now. I'll hold off on that. Maybe I can get you a couple of them.
He doesn't want to replace it with that device because we think it's marginal. Again, he's keying 4 different things with it, and the current is only rated at 200 mils. It would be much better to have something in there, at least a half an amp or an amp current capability. Over.
Comment.
Okay, it's not a surface mount part, right?
Yes, it is surface mount. Go ahead, Frank.
All right. Yeah, Jim, it's a surface mount, and I'm looking at one right now at DigiKey that is rated at 280 milliamps. The thing is, I've seen these from 130 to 280, and I haven't had the time to determine what the actual rating of the one on this board is. But, yeah, that's the idea is I just want strong enough that it's going to be able to key 4 or 5 radios and transverters all at the same time. And that's all the answer I'm looking for. But it is a surface mount 2N7002. Over.
7002. Okay, Frank, I'll work on it.
All right. Thank you, Jim. And we'll see who else is in the Bay Area. I haven't heard anybody else, so maybe you could take a quick call and see if Mike is there. KB6 Whiskey Foxtrot Charlie. How about it, Mike? No, Mike. How about WA6AXX? How about AB6SR? How about KB6BA?
I hate getting our butt kicked by coarse gold, you know.
Yeah, well, you're 3. We got 3 in coarse gold so far, and I haven't even poked a stick at the pile yet.
Yeah, you got to watch out for them coarse gold RF bandits. We're tough up here, these old farts up in the mountains.
Yeah, the women are ugly, and there's no movies, shows, or anything, so there's nothing to do but ham radio, I guess.
KM6HK, of course.
Oh, there's another one. We got 4 now. Oh, for cripe's sake. KM6HK 803. Good evening, Dan.
Hang on, Dan.
We got plenty to do up here. Come on now.
I think we tripled here. What did you want, Frank?
I just wanted to tell you, just to let you know that I am going to tell Jennifer how all the women in coarse gold are ugly. Hi. Good evening to you, Dan. Go ahead.
I said they must be.
Well, you'd think she was. She married me, right?
Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Dan.
No, I got nothing further. That's in it. KM6HK 73.
Okay, 803. Thanks for giving us number 4 in the coarse gold area tonight. So back to the Bay Area to embarrass them there. K6MYC. How about, I'm missing a couple of people. KD6SOK can't hear on 2 meters, so that's why he's not here. AB6SR isn't playing the game tonight. He must be well into that bottle of Merlot. I can't even embarrass him to get in here. And I guess we're going to just have to pass on and go up and get the tired man that's up there in Oakley who put on a gigantic barbecue for everybody today. Russ was here, by the way, K6KLY. He might be home tonight, but he isn't checking in here. But Russ worked 30 or 33 stations over the weekend at my place, Jim. 20 countries, 20 countries and 3 brand new ones. He worked a dandy. He worked Turkey, Israel, and something in the Caribbean, all new countries for him, Jim, over.
Oh, that's pretty good. He did this off the moon, did he?
What was the question?
Was this EME?
Yeah, 2 meters with my 4 XP22s, over.
Oh, very good, yeah. At least he's keeping you busy, keeping your station busy anyway. That's good. I only am able to operate, I limit it to 2 weeks over there in the Azores on any band because, the moon's in an unfavorable position otherwise. And the number of new contacts is getting smaller and smaller, of course. I've got an awful lot of stations that I've worked at least once, but the new ones that come around are fewer and far between now that I've worked them several years in a row. That nobody's interested in doing it twice or 3 times or 4 times or 5 times. After a while, it becomes boring. But what surprised me is 1296. There's more new contacts every year on that band than there are on 2 meters.
Well, it's not surprising because the technology and the availability of parts and power and everything is getting easier on 1296. It used to be a son of a bitch to get on 1296 in the old days, with preamps and water-cooled tubes and all kinds of crap that we had to come up with. So it's gotten a lot, and our 2 dB noise figure was phenomenal. Over.
Oh yeah, that's barely enough even for 6 meters now. But gosh, up there on 1296 now, there's guys that are measuring below 0.2 of a dB. My LNA isn't quite that good on 1296. It's by the time you get through the connectors and so forth, and even though it's right there with just a 6-inch jumper going over to the port on the antenna. I start out at 0.38 dB and wind up with a half a dB system noise figure. That's really pretty good. Some guys have got it even lower than that, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I hear you. I'm about 0.3 at the top of my tower here in my preamp up there, but that was an old device that Ken did many years ago. And it's never failed, knock on wood. So it's still going, but it hears really well. I've got just a feed line off the harness that comes off the 4-port power divider. Actually, it's a 2-port power divider between 2 pairs of 8 Yagis, 2 pairs of 4 Yagis each. So it's a 2-port power divider feed line down to around the rotor loop and into the box. So I probably have a net like yours, half a dB noise figure, but it hears like a demon. Over.
Oh yeah, it's pretty good. Well, I've got this year was different. The sun noise was up there over 10 dB with the small dish that I've got, and that's not a benefit, but just shows you how noisy the sun got this year. But it hears pretty well. I need a choke ring though. I don't have one, so I've got to figure something like that out. That'll probably improve the receive quite a bit. A couple of dB, I'm told anyway.
Well, I have a feed horn here that belongs to Frank, or will belong to Frank one of these days when he gets his up. But I have a scalar feed horn that we designed at work, and we could make more. This was done by Scott, my RF and microwave engineer. And it's a beautiful, has 2 ports, right hand, left hand, and all. And it's a scalar feed horn. It's about, the diameter of the scalar ring is about 9 inches. Over.
Oh, that sounds pretty good. If you've got a drawing, I could probably make something like that over here.
Well, you don't want to pay $2,000 for the one that we make?
You're not charging $2,000 for a choke ring.
the whole waveguide, everything, and with its connectors and all mount and everything. It's all in a big piece of square waveguide that we build, and then a ring on there, and it's got oh, for God's sake, I forgot. Like that brownish plastic cover on it. Not Rexolite. What the heck I'm thinking? Anyway, it's all covered, so bugs can't get in and everything. But it's beautiful, and it should feed normal 0.4 to 0.5 dish just fine. Over.
That sounds good. I'm not using waveguide though.
You need that to get circular, right hand, left hand.
Out on me. Let's pick this up tomorrow night, I guess.
I didn't get that. You took a nasty fade.
Yeah, same thing is happening here. You're below the noise level. 73, so I'll see you on tomorrow night.
Okay, catch you on 222 might be better. Frank, did you have something?
No, I was just going to relay that Jim said that you took a big fade on him too, and we'd pick it up tomorrow night.
Yeah, okay.
A little quick on the key to be helpful sometimes.
Yeah. I assumed that's what he said, but I just wanted to get a clarification. All right. Anybody else in the Bay Area before we give up on this bunch of losers losers that have not checked in the Bay Area, not the guys that have checked in? Over. Okay, we're not getting any response. It must be busy night on TV or something. Maybe it's a football game.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, go ahead.
I can't really hear Frank very well because of the noise level over here, but give him this part number, Mike Fox Tango November 170. That's Mike Fox Tango November 170. All of 17 cents just for one. If you buy 10, they're 11 cents. So that's a half an amp.
And where do you get it?
I'm looking at Mauser here. They've got 11,000 in stock.
Okay, and you think that would drop right in?
Well, I don't know. I'm going to compare the gate to source threshold voltage required with what he's got. We'll see. I'll break in and let you know.
Now, I doubt it's a problem. This has got to be a very non-critical thing. You drive the gate and that's it. Nothing to it. Source is grounded in the circuit that he puts it in. The source sits right on ground, and the drain is there. And there's a bypass capacitor and a reverse polarity diode on the input of the drain.
Yeah, hey, I was away from the mic and the radio, and my pen won't write. Just tell Jim to repeat that number one time.
Repeat the number one more time, Jim.
Mike Fox Tango November 170. That's again, Mike Fox Tango November 170.
From Mauser.
Roger, it pops right up instantly on DigiKey. And okay, thank you, Jim. Thank you.
It's pretty expensive. I don't think he can handle it.
Yeah, it's expensive.
It'll be the postage for it will be $1.
Well, the postage is going to be a lot more than the transistor for sure. Typically their minimum charge for postage is something like $8.
Yeah, isn't that sad? Maybe he can buy 2 or 3 of them probably, and then he'll have enough for backup and a couple of other circuits that he may want to put them in. Probably a good device. It sounds like a dandy. Thank you for the research, Jim. Thanks much. W6PQL, K6MYC. Last call, Bay Area.
Last comment to Jim.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Jim, and if you don't hear me, Mike can relay. But, yeah, I've got the part on my screen at DigiKey right now. Thank you very much. And you don't have to bother with the research. I can go look at that gate voltage and all that myself and make sure that it looks reasonably well. But thank you much, Jim. Over.
Roger, Frank.
Okay, I guess you copied that. Okay, thanks again, Jim. All right, Bay Area, last chance, K6MYC. Okay, going up to Oakley, see if Ken survived his own barbecue there. Okay. Oakley should be here. N6 Radio Oscar, N6 Radio Oakley, K6MYC.
K6MYC and company, N6RO, Bozo 835, high temperature 22, which was ideal weather for the barbecue. I'm right now pointing at Jim, who is about the same signal strength as you, because you're off the side, and he's probably pointed at you, so I'm now going to switch to you. Here we are looking down the valley, and it's nice to have two antennas or more. The barbecue was fantastic. Russ made it up here in time for the food, and a lot of old-timers and brand-new guys showed up. Although NCCC and I sponsor the thing, it's open for any active ham-type guys, and maybe you guys ought to come up here one year. A lot of the guys you probably know as customers or whatever. Other comments, tower bases. A while back, I've used all of the things you mentioned, including a light-duty tower that first housed my TV antennas before DirecTV satellite came in. And then eventually I had a TH6 on it before I had put up the other towers. And all of my tall towers, they're 140-foot plus, 4 of them. And they're all guide with Philly strand now. And I use Roan 45 and 2 yards of concrete at the base and a yard on each of the guide points. Telescoping towers, I have that MA40 for the UHF stack that I'm on now. And there's 2 yards of concrete in the base. It's self-supporting. And it withstood some 30 miles an hour winds this past week. And I'm not afraid of it doing worse. But if we get some winter storm winds, I'm going to lower it down to the 20-foot level with the winch. Let's see. 49ers managed to lose their fourth game. Now, so that's the only negative thing that happened. The barbecue was the best I've had this whole year. It's like it was the last few years. Since I lost my wife and some health problems and all that. It's made my day. And it turns out that most of the barbecue setup was done by my operating team, who are also the board of directors of NCCC. We seem to have a monopoly on the big guys who know how to do things. Anyway, I've talked long enough. K6MYC N6RO.
Hey, very good, Ken. Before I forget it, I have 160 feet of very, very good condition. Tri-X T20. It's a little stronger than Roan 45. And, flange based every 22 feet, every 20 feet. 160 feet. If you needed, that price is going to be really easy. Anybody else that you might know that would want it or use it, I got 160 feet of it, over.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm probably done with putting up towers here, but I'll keep it in mind for anybody who's looking. That's those 20-foot sections. That takes a pretty big gin pole.
Well, 12 feet, 20-foot gin pole will get it up there, normal gin pole. I took it down with a 3-inch piece of tubing, 8th wall tubing that we built and put a pulley at the top. So they're not overwhelming, but it is a little bit heavier and a little sturdier than Roan 45, over.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll keep that in mind for those who are looking. I
again, back to the barbecue. It was really well done, and you guys ought to join us some year.
Yeah, well, I'd like to come up. We just have to coordinate it with timing. I didn't know about it this year. First I heard about it when Russ said he was going to leave on Sunday morning and go heading for your barbecue. So somebody forgot to invite us. I don't know who that would be. Anyway, listen, Russ probably told you he had a pretty good night on the moon. He worked about 33 countries, or 33 stations, 20 countries, and he got a real rare one. How about turkey in the log on 2 meters, over?
Oh, boy, yeah. I'm not into that world yet. I only have a single Yagis. But who knows? I keep experimenting. And to celebrate the good day that I had after a very bad week medically, and my water pressure tank sprung a leak, and a drain on my kitchen sink clogged up and backed up with sewer. So it's a really crappy week, but it ended up just fine. And I'm celebrating. I just ordered a new HF radio from DX Engineering, 7610. I'm going to replace one of the K3 stations with. We now have 8 operating positions, and we're growing every year in 6RO.
Yeah, very good. And congratulations on the barbecue. I didn't mean to overlook that. I was kidding you about the invite. No, I hadn't. I didn't know about it. I'd just forgotten about the fact that you have one every year. But we had even talked about, I think, coming up, either Frank and I or Matt or I or somebody coming up. But I can't. Otherwise, I drive up on my own. Hell, I would have come up, tandeming him up with Russ. He left about 9:30 here, 9:45 or something. Okay, I think that's it. I'll talk to you tomorrow night, of course. But yeah, he also worked Israel, which I thought was quite unusual, considering the turmoil that's going on in Israel. To have a guy still operating moonbounds, it must not be all bad in Israel, over.
Well, you know, hams will get on the air for no matter what's going on around them.
You got that right. And he worked somebody down in the Caribbean as well. But the Israel was rare. And so as a turkey was just unbelievable. He said it took him an hour to work him. Hell, he'd be lucky he worked him at all, much less. Of course, we've got a fairly decent station here. I had the small amp on, though. We only had about 1,000 out. We could have had the bigger one that has, like yours, PQL with the dual gate, two MOSFETs in it.
Yeah, well, that may be my next project, although the thing I'm imagining now is adding a second 80-meter dipole on another tower and doing some phasing inline and parasitic and all sorts of things to give me 4 dB in 4 different directions.
Yeah, that'd be exciting. That would probably give you the chance to make up for some of these bad days in certain directions when you either got noise or CMEs, and maybe it's good in one direction but not others. Okay, let me let you go. We're running a little bit late here, but always a pleasure, Ken. I'm so happy that you finally ended up your week on a high note. I knew about the sewage in the sink and all the rest of that. Yeah, the week from hell for you. But I'm glad that the barbecue worked out good, and you had a wonderful time. And I'm sorry I wasn't there, but maybe somebody remembered me. We were there in spirit, I know that. 7-3, N6 Radio Oakley, K6MYC.
Yeah, I'll make it a point to notify you guys well in advance through the Bozo Net about next year. I think the club will continue it, and I'll continue to host it as long as I'm still kicking. So I'll see you tomorrow night in 6 Rancho, Ontario.
Okay. Good night, Ken.
Bye.
N6 Radio Oakley, Rancho Oakley, K6MYC, clear and going up to Sacramento. I don't hear Dennis in here tonight either, so maybe I should stop by and see if there's anybody in Clear Lake. There's Clear Lake, K6MYC, Bozo Net, N1PPP. Are you around, Dave? Nothing heard from Clear Lake. Oh, there he is, N1PPP 336. And I'm sure you have Kent there, 160. Go ahead, Dave. N1PPP, we have you, Dave, K6MYC. Roger, roger, roger. Roger, roger, roger on Kent, KA6 OSX, I think you said, Ocean Sugar X-Ray. Roger, roger. Oh, ISO as well. Okay, WB6 ISO 86 is in there also. I guess he checked in earlier. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Dave. N1PPP 7373 K6MYC.
Dave, you're loud in Oakley.
73. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, did Kent actually check in? Was Kent there? Dave, was Kent check in tonight? Ask him that, would you, Kent? Roger, roger, roger. We got it. Thank you, Dave. 73, my friend.
Dave, you're very loud at N6RO.
Thanks. I can hear you pretty well, too.
Very good.
Okay, here we are toward Sacramento, KO6KD. KO6KD, are you there, Bill? Okay, KJ6KFB, how about you, Darren? How about AJ6 Queen Lima?
WB6GGY, Whiskey Baker 6, Golf Yankee, Bozo 884.
Roger, got your 884, Phil. Thank you. We missed you this morning, but we'll be back on tomorrow. Everybody will have more time tomorrow. We'll have more time tomorrow.
Yeah, we were in church. We headed for church this morning. Okay, WB6GGY, let you get back to it. And hello to Judy there. WB6GGY, Cliff.
Judy says hi, and hello to Barbara there as well. Thank you, Phil, and we'll see you in the morning. We're running a little bit late here this evening. Who was the other one there with Phil that tried to check in? Try it again, K6MYC. Somebody else was in there with Phil. Go ahead.
Did you get KR6MR?
No, I did not. KR6MR, John? KR6MR 759. Go ahead, please, K6MYC.
Roger, KR6MR, Bozo 759.
Yeah, really bad. That's mostly my noise here. All of a sudden, I got terrible noise. And I'm going to have to determine whether this is solar noise or power line noise. It almost sounds like power line and PG&E line noise. It does not sound like solar. But whatever it is, it's bad in this direction, John. But we got you in there. I worked Bill this morning. I'm surprised he isn't in there now, but maybe he's sleeping. KR6MR, who else have you heard? Over?
Okay, Bill and Darren are both staying on FM tonight, showing the fat. They didn't want to wait till it's after 9 o'clock. I guess it was past their bewitching time to talk to you. They said they're going to ignore you. And hopefully you're coming in very, very strong as well. Over.
Yeah, okay. Well, you're strong, too. It's just that the noise is so very serious. Let me tell Judy to log in 776 and 756. 756 and 776 who were in here earlier but didn't want to stick around. Thank you for that, John. 73s. We'll see you tomorrow night on 6 meters, and I hope I don't have this noise from the other QTH. Over.
Roger, roger. Let's hope we have good, clear signals tomorrow night. KR6 from our back to net.
Yeah, well, you're Q5. You're Q5. It's just a very noisy, annoying buzz in there. Take care. Thank you. Okay, anybody else, Sacramento and points beyond? Let me go toward Redding, because I don't know if I can hear Redding, so everybody else help me out. Listen up for Redding. KO6, KD6SW, Kilo Delta 6, hopping wet, K6MYC. Go ahead, Rich. I think I heard 145 in there, very, very marginal. I turned the blanker on. We should be able to hear you now with the noise blanker on, Rich. Take another one, and then we'll turn it over to Jerry. Over.
Okay, this is KD6 shortwave, number 145, here in Redding. Good evening.
We got you that time, 145 KD6 shortwave. Got you. Thank you. Very poor conditions on my side. Not your fault. I've got this terrible noise tonight. It may be power lines. I don't think this is solar. I think this is power lines. It just has come out of nowhere for me. Let me see if I can hear Jerry. KO6HS, Kilo Oscar 6, Hotel Sugar, K6MYC. I don't hear Jerry in there. KO6HS, KO6 Hot Sugar, Hotel Sierra, K6MYC. Jerry? Looks like Jerry didn't stick around. It's pretty late here. I apologize. Okay, 73's Rich, 73 Rich, and we'll see you tomorrow night on 6 meters. We'll look for you on 6 meters tomorrow. Over. Okay, anybody else in here? Anybody else before I go to Nevada? K6MYC.
Did Rich say Jerry was in there?
No, Jerry.
QSL.
Somebody came in underneath you, Rob. Anybody else before I go to Nevada? Try it again. That might have been just Rich signing out there. All right, going to Nevada. Here we go, Nevada. And I just took the noise out, too. Boy, it's very sharp tonight. Nevada, KD6BQ, K6MYC.
Yeah, K6MYC, KD6BQ, number 249, over.
Yeah, QSL 249, big loud signal compared to all the others. And I've got, it's funny, it must be PG&E, because normally if I have noise from the solar inverter, it's still up here. But all of a sudden when I hit this, just past the north direction, the noise went away completely. Just dropped off like a rock, so must be power lines. Oh, great. We get rid of one and we get another one in place of it. How are you doing up there, and who else have you heard? Go ahead.
I haven't heard anybody else, but I suspect Daniel might be out there. I've had 220 FM on and haven't heard Larry, so I suspect that he may not be. If you give him a call, you'll find out. But otherwise, been pretty good up here. A couple of real cold mornings, but a couple of nice days ahead, and then it's pretty much headed down towards winter. Over.
Yeah, we think this might be the last little swing into the 80s for us. We're going into 80 tomorrow and the next day. It says here in fine print. Dumping down into the low 50s, low 50s at night. Very good. Let me see if Daniel's in there. KE7UQL, KE7 Uniform Quebec London, K6MYC.
272 is here, waiting, over.
QSL, you're 272, Daniel. Good signal. And pleased to hear you in here. How are you doing with the 222 and the 432? Are they getting back together?
Yes, we'll be on the air for you tomorrow on 222, over.
Okay, and how about 1296?
Well, that one's liking it in the garage, over.
You want to work me from the garage, you say?
Well, it's staying high and dry in the garage, over.
Oh, is it raining up there?
No, it's beautiful sunshine today.
Well, what's your excuse, man?
Oh, just haven't got it hit back up, and we're expecting some more bad weather by the weekend, over.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, well, we'll get you if we get you. We'll look for you on 222 for sure anyway. Thank you, as always, Daniel, and always good to hear you. Good, strong signal for the most part here. A little bit of QSB, but not bad. KE7UQL, Carson City area, K6MYC.
Okay, thanks much. KE7UQL, we'll look for you tomorrow.
7-3, and one last call for Larry, N7 Whiskey Tango, N7WT, N7 Whiskey Tango, K6MYC, calling and listening. Yeah, as we suspected, Larry is not there. It's after his bedtime. About K7SUN, K7 Sierra Uniform November, K7SUN. Stan, are you around? We haven't heard you for months, over. I think Stan's retired from ham radio or something here. Okay, I'm going back. No place to go except back to the bay. Well, maybe we should go down and see if we can get KE6. KK6. No, that isn't right. What's Eddie's call?
KE6BK.
Yeah, KE6BK. Let's go back in and get Eddie.
Was Larry in there earlier? Should we write him in?
No, he was not there.
KE6BK, Eddie, you on tonight for the 2-meter Bozo Net? KE6BK, this is KM6SR with K6MYC, standing by.
Oh, anybody else down there? N6SWR or KE6BK, K6MYC? Guess we're all done, Rob. Judy's going to count up and see what we have here.
Okay, me too. I didn't hear what Jim was saying, so I tried listening to the stream, and I'm about 20 seconds off, so I may have missed some people trying to catch up.
Okay. I don't think so. There was nobody else in there with Jim. It was just bandying back and forth between. We only got 3 out of the Bay Area. I think we got Jim. We got Brett. Must have been Gary, WB6WNI 1090 1090.
Yeah, I got Gary.
That was it, man. It was a dry one from the Bay Area tonight.
Yeah, I thought you said, oh, there's another one from Course Call just before Dan, and I just don't know if I missed that or not. I showed 27.
Well, we got 32, so we have a big spread. You must have missed quite a few.
Well, would you like to just read me some numbers?
Well, I'll let Judy read off the first 10 because that might have been the ones that you missed. Over.
Okay, go ahead.
Hey, Rob. I've got 1079 72 1100 982 756 432 61 704 1009 831. Over.
Okay, I believe I've got all those.
Number 11 was 1055 1098 1129 1090 1296 835 336 160 86 884. Over.
Okay, yeah, I may have missed 1098 on that one. Go ahead.
I have 759 47 756 776 145 249. Last one 272. Over.
Okay, I'll match them up and see which ones I missed. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good night. Nice to talk with you. Bye.
I just counted the numbers you gave me, and I come up with 27 for that, too. Over.
There is only 27. She jumped 5.
I just want to talk with Rob.
Very good, Judy. I'll be happy to talk to you anytime. Thank you.
Okay. All righty. Well, good night. We'll see you tomorrow. Over to you, Aaron, for any final comments. Thanks for your efforts here, and thank you over the weekend for helping out Russ and got him going good. And you probably heard all the nice countries he worked over.
Yeah, Roger. Sorry, I had to grab the microphone real quick. I was actually listening to the stream, so I was a couple seconds off, but fortunately you kept talking, so I was able to grab it. And yeah, no, it's makes me tempted to come camp out at your place for a weekend when, you know, wife and kids are out of town and go play moon bounce or something, but they don't have opportunities to do that very often.
Well, you're welcome to do it anytime. I can give you an idea when is good moon times. When the moon is high and just at the peak declination, it turned out this year it was just about the same time that the moon was full, that full night moon. If you look at the declination of the moon, that's the key. The moon goes from, let's say, typically minus 26 or minus 28 declination, and then 14 days later it's at plus 28 north declination. And then right after that, there's a quiet sky period for about a week. So the best moon conditions are right after the moon peaks in declination from about 26 down to declination of 20 is really good. Over.
Yep, yeah, Roger. Yeah, and I also know what you got to deal with also apogee and perigee and whether or not the moon is close or farther away. And yeah, well, we'll just have to, I don't know, we could also just set it up so I could do it remotely. That'd be the other fun thing to try. But yeah, no worries. It just, that's definitely one of the rabbit holes that I will probably go down at some point in the future. I had an opportunity to do it at the Fresno State station when we had a station at the campus, but the one night that I was there to do that, they were having relay problems, and we weren't able to get on the air, and then that station got kicked out and taken down, so never got to do Moonbound, so that'd be a fun thing to try at some point.
Yeah, that was a real debacle by Fresno State. They had the president of Fresno State or the administration got their head up their ass about something there. Hang on. I had to sneeze again. It comes and goes. You don't have to worry about apogee, perigee. It's nice if they coordinate, but there's only 2 dB difference between apogee and perigee and path loss. So it's not a big deal. Where you lose a lot of signals when the background noise behind the moon is noisy. So that's what we really find are the best moon conditions. And sometimes it comes at the same time you get perigee, which is close, and sometimes it doesn't. But it's much more important to have a very low sky noise behind the moon. Over.
Yes, yeah, that definitely makes sense. Very good.
Anyway, it ain't always a convenient time. So if you can watch the moon cycles and know when, just watch the declination and watch for the peak declination, and any time after that, you can look at this months ahead of time. I have a program here called Sky Moon, and maybe sometime you could. I can find it. It's on one of my programs, one of my computers here. I haven't seen it lately, but you can go ahead months and days and hours and everything and look that, so you can predict when a good sched time would be or when a good moon times would be. Over.
Comment.
Go ahead, Frank. You got Sky Moon?
Yeah, I've got Sky Moon, and I'll find a minute, and I'll just email it to you, Aaron. It's a real simple deal. You put it up on your screen. You make sure the date, your date and time is right in it, and then put you can do your grid square or your coordinates in it. And once it's set up, it tells you when the moon is rising and setting, or the sun, whichever you choose. But you'll be interested in some little numbers, like one is degrade, DGRD. And so, you know, if we're down in a degrade on 2 meters, if we're anywhere 3 and below, no problems with an array like Mike's. You know, when you're up there 7, 8, 10 dB, then you won't find a lot of traffic on. And so that'll give you something to play with. Over.
Oh yeah, well, and I'm sure there's a lot of parameters and stuff that you can look up online too. So yeah, as I said, one of the rabbit holes I will go down at some point. But yeah, had a 45-minute conversation with him to try and get the software going. I'm glad he was able to get it working and get everything talking. I know a couple of parameters that probably changed on the radio, but unfortunately I was able to walk him through on the phone how to get the software reconnected to the radio.
Yeah, okay, very good. Yeah, you know, when I was down there, I checked the antennas, and I made sure the antennas were working and took power, and then Mike ran a couple of nets. I thought everything was set up, that he had used that station many times, that's what he did, and he knew what he was doing. I had no clue that it was going to be that type of a situation.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is a couple parameters on the radio changed for the nets, but of course we're coming into the network port. It should have just worked, but I was able to walk him through getting the radio reconnected, and then apparently he was able to work a bunch of countries, so I guess it worked.
All right, I got to get out of here, guys. I'll catch y'all later. W6BBS.
Good night, Frank.
See you in the morning, I guess, Frank, huh?
Yes, sir. In fact, I meant to do it earlier, and I started to do it, and then I got distracted, and I actually unbolted all of my power today, 48 volts and 240 volts in both directions, and mounted my new, I have a 100-amp 24-space panel that is now my main panel that needed to be in there, so stuff isn't just hanging out through the walls, through holes in the walls. So I got all that disconnected. And it all started with, let's go make sure all my batteries are charged up, which put a couple of tools in my hand. I was looking at that, and I was like, So long story short, during the net, I finally brought all batteries in and charged them in. All the tools are in the truck already, and the batteries are all right here in front of me. They're by my front door here. So, yeah, I'm ready to come down, Mike, and ready to get busy and do something. Over.
Okay. Scott never did show up today, so it must have been something else must have come up. So we didn't lose any time there in terms of him training you. I know he still wants to do that, but the only time during the week he can get here is a little bit after work. So I don't know. We'll play it by ear. If I know of a good day where I'll talk to him tomorrow, perhaps at the plant, and find out if he and Matt are going to be down here for a half a day like he did before, and that would be a good time to get him and you in front of the radio for 15 minutes or so. Alrighty, see you later. Go get some rest, and Rob, thanks for your help there. Aaron, see you. And we can get you to the Sky Moon is an excellent program, so if you get it, download it immediately. You'll like it. It was written by W5UN, and it's very practical, very down-to-earth program, and it gives you everything you need to know about Moon and position and degradation. DGER is what Frank was talking about. There are several things that degrade from the optimum. The optimum is perigee and the quietest of skies. So that's your best, least degradation, if you will. And then you add apogee, can take you down by another 2 dB, and then sky noise is your big factor, which could take you down 7, 8, 9, 10 dB. When the degradation is over 7 or 8, it starts to get a little ratty, but you can still have a lot of fun. I used to not pay much attention to that, just work right on through it. But it scares some of the newbies away, so you don't have the volume of people to work. But usually you can work people right through the high degradation periods. There's only 1 or 2 days where the moon is right in front of the Milky Way, and it's awful.
Hey, Aaron?
Yes?
I don't know why you're not in my email program, but just, give me your email address and I'll type it in.
Good night, guys. See you later. K6MYC closing down.
It's super easy.
I'm sorry, Mike covered you up. Good night, Mike. Yeah, Mike covered you. What'd you say?
It's my call sign at mycallsign.com. One of the many ways to get me.